What's up, everybody? It's Big Rich with Creative Solutions, where we are the real estate solution. Now, today we have a special podcast. In just a couple days, we are going to be live with our coaching program, our training programs, our membership opportunity for you, real estate agents that want to become better at the job, at the business, at the career that you are involved in. And we're going to have Richard Sr. on today. Now, with what we're doing, guys, this podcast, you guys already know it. It's on Apple Music. It's on Spotify. It's on YouTube. Check it out. We would love to hear from you guys, get a rating and a review about this. But without further ado, we are going to bring Richard Sr. onto the screen and start this podcast. What is up, Dad?
Hey, guys. How are you doing? It's so good to be here and see everybody. And we're excited to move forward.
Absolutely. Hey, so today's going to be a lot of fun. We just want to talk to you a little bit about what our training modules look like. Now, at Creative Solutions, our goal is not to only be a training membership program. You know, we don't want to just make videos and post them and hand them to you guys and say, watch these videos. That's not our purpose. If you want that, there absolutely are other amazing opportunities out there, but we want this to be a membership community. We want you to jump on and be able to talk with real people that are actively involved in situations in the market that we're in the times that we are living. Now, the trainings, we do believe there are some basic things that you should know as an agent, and we believe that there are some amazing things that we have found out ourselves, and we wanted to make sure we have those opportunities available for you. Now, you will see a lot of updates here in a little bit. We'll even talk about some of the trainings that are going to be coming up on behind our membership program for you guys. But today, Richard Sr. and I, we're just going to focus on the four main categories of what we do. So with that being said, Agent Basics is the first. So Richard, Dad, Agent Basics, why did we choose this as our first piece to go with?
Well, the reason why we went with Agent Basics is because to have confidence and be able to communicate professionally with someone, you want to make sure that you know the basics of the business. These are what we should be learning, whether it's in real estate school, whether it's, in our first onboarding training with our company, or it's the reviews of trainings that we learn as we go through the processes. So every deal has different situations that come into play. And I feel like that if you know your agent basics, if you know the basics of the business, and you know how to communicate effectively with your sellers and buyers, you can work through hard situations to bring a resolution faster, rather than getting people upset at each other. If you're able to communicate about the basics, it just makes a lot more sense.
Absolutely. Now, with our trainings, when it comes to Agent Basics, this is one of those things, and you've told me this a lot, you've told our team this a lot, and even other agents that have talked to you, right? We believe that there are a lot of things that change constantly in real estate. So when you were an agent at the beginning, when you started this career of choice, there was probably 85 to 90% of the things were different, how things were handled, documents that were being used, how negotiations, conversations, XYZ happened. And so with that being said, I know we really wanted to focus on Agent Basics. Like, this was that opportunity. And again, things are going to grow. So this training system we have is going to grow because we are constantly learning as well. There are things that we go through every day. You will always, I don't think, Dad, have you ever gone through the same situation twice, honestly, with any people you've ever ran?
It does seem like that once you do consistent business over and over again, you will see a lot of the same systems that you need to get around, or negotiations. You'll find that a lot of people do have a lot of the same characteristics. I mean, every deal has a little different nuances, but you'll find that as long as you know how to communicate, how to address situations, whether it's a closing statement that you're presenting to your client to let them know what their final numbers are, or whether it's a defect notice or post inspection, most people, if you communicate in a certain way, you're going to be effective. And no, there are a lot of situations that I feel like are basically the same. So I've seen where if I handle a situation wrong, the next time I can handle it better, and it actually makes the deal more smooth. And that's why we're doing this training. We're bringing everybody together and saying, hey, here's the best way to handle these issues. Here's the best way to overcome these obstacles when you're communicating with your clients.
Absolutely. I love that. I think that is key to who we are at Creative Solutions. Now, the second of the four that we're going to focus on, okay, this would be our relationships. Now, Dad, we are talking relationships with agents, we are talking relationships with clients, we are talking relationships with family and friends and everything else, because we recognize that real estate is not just a clock in, clock out business. There's not just a specific type of person that we are communicating to. There are everybody we talk to. I mean, I was gonna say there's a lot. Everybody we talk to is somebody that potentially could be a client of ours or be involved with the clientele that we have. So when we say relationships, what are a couple of things that you're trying to focus on as we build this out?
Well, we can look at this as in relationships of how to handle a certain type of client. So I have some clients that are what we would consider high pressure. They expect everything done the way they want it done. They have a certain way of doing things. They've closed deals before. They know how the system should work. So as a realtor, we have to learn how to navigate their needs. But then also I'll have at the same time, 5 minutes later, I'll be on a call with somebody who's very um, reserved and very easy to, they'll do whatever I ask them to do. And, even if it's a little bit out of the ordinary, they're happy to do what I request to get a deal put together. So when we work with clients, we have to understand that there's so many different types of personalities, and we have to be as flexible as we can to put our place in their shoes and to understand their personality. Sometimes it's kind of like sometimes when you get a phone call, somebody calls about a certain property. You start communicating to them about that property, and in your mind, you have a vision of what they look like. Then when they get to the property in person, you realize that they look totally different. Like sometimes you'll think they look like a business guy, and you get to the property and they look like a basketball player, like they just came from the gym or something, right? Other times you'll talk to someone and you'll think, boy, they may not be communicating very well over the phone, but when you get them to the property, they're driving a Mercedes, and you're like, wow, okay, I'm glad I gave them the best service also. So even though I'm saying we got to learn the relationships and their communication styles, we still treat everyone with the same top-notch professionalism, because everyone deserves that.
Absolutely. And that is super important, guys. You got to remember everybody is an individual person. Every deal that we work with, something you'll hear say a lot. As a real estate agent, you deal with a lot of different people in every single transaction. So it's not one person, two person. It's not a mechanic and a client. We are handling a lot of different things. In a way, we are the middleman of getting these situations taken care of, getting the offers and the deals to the closing table to make sure it's done. And there's a lot of different opportunities to succeed and to fail in this. There's a lot of different conversations that are going to happen. There's a lot of different things that we're going to have to take care of, which leads into the third thing, which is negotiations. Now, in negotiations, right, we're talking about in the deal. We're talking about specifics, like when we write an offer, negotiations, right, Dad? We've got a lot of different things than just the offer. We've got the opportunity after the inspection period. We're back technically in negotiations again. But I would also challenge that as we go through the process, when you're speaking with your client, whether your client is the buyer or the seller, you're kind of negotiating with them to help them understand, hey,
Right.
this is the best way to do it, or this would help you help them. This is, oh, that's not a good idea, or hey, this is whatever it looks like, right? There's a lot of opportunity for negotiation. So, Richard, Dad, when we're talking about negotiations for you, where do you see the biggest need for realtors to understand how better to negotiate, whether it's with their clients or with other agents or anything that we're dealing with?
Well, it depends. There's so much to this business. And so when we talk this way, it's like I'm thinking of 100 different examples. But what I'm going to talk about today is like when we're negotiating with a client, or when we're helping a client to get what they want out of a property, whether it's the deal. In some markets, like here in Orlando, if you don't get your offer looking the best, you've got 30 other offers out there. So you've got to work hard to get your deal accepted. However, then you also, at the same time, when we come into the inspections phase, if you choose to do inspections, your client, you have to help them to understand what items to ask for, what items to not ask for, and and where their satisfaction level will be that they move forward with the closing. So with negotiations, it goes back a little bit to that agent basics. When you understand your relationships with your contractors, your home inspectors, and the way that the reports are presented, it helps you to give a better, clearer path for your client. So a lot of times if people don't have a clear path, they get confused. And people that get confused do not say yes. If I go to the store and I'm looking at several different products of what to buy or how to, what to purchase, if I'm confused, I just walk out of the store and I go to the next one. So if you're presenting an unclear path to your clients, they're going to say no, and you're going to feel rejection. And as a realtor, then you're going to feel like, oh man, that deal didn't come together, and you're going to blame other people sometimes when it was really your fault. So that's the thing. The way we handle the clients, the way we handle the other realtors, the way we handle the lenders, then the appraisers, the title company, will all affect how that deal comes together. And the better you are at negotiating, then that's where you build your referral base. So when you negotiate well and you're working with that personality, then what happens is they say, wow, George was great to work with. He handled this hard problem. He was able to come in and help me to negotiate this difficult situation. He saved me another $5,000 on the deal, or he got me the occupancy that I needed. What they do then is they tell their friends. So when you create a good relationship, a good negotiation system, then you're going to pick up referrals simply because they're going to want the best to be there for their friends. If you make the deal hard, they'll say, hey, yeah, George was great, but boy, I tell you what, there are other options out there too. So again, very important that we handle our clients professionally and smoothly as possible in every situation.
Absolutely, I agree with you. And then the fourth thing that we're going to focus on would be marketing and branding. Now, when we talk about marketing and branding, there are a few things that we're talking about. You're talking about social media, right? We're talking about you as a person walking down the street. A lot of times, and you hear this a lot from us specifically, we like to focus in a tight area to make sure that we are saturating a market with who we are, our team, our name, our brand, the Richard Pierce Group, Big Rich, Richard Sr. That's how we like to operate in business. And when we do that, we give ourselves the opportunity, again, like you just said, we're building the reputation. That way the referrals come to us. Mm-hmm. And if people know who you are based off the good, right? If you're in the coffee shop in line and you are super positive and happy and just a joy to be around, you're not on your phone, but you're communicating with the people around you. Do you know the baristas, right? Are they like, hey, Big Rich came in? Like when you can be that person, and it looks different for everybody. Where you go, like I go to a coffee shop. I've got a couple coffee shops I frequent a lot. I know everybody's name that works there, and I know a lot of the people that are in there when I go in. Richard Sr. is probably not going to show up at a coffee shop, but there's a couple different local restaurants or a couple different local businesses you're going to see him in where he does have that name recognition and who he is. Now, we believe like that is probably one of the most important, aside from know how to do your job, know how to be an agent, know how to write the offers. Aside from all of those basic things, this is probably the most important thing, because do you want to be known as an agent who is qualified, as an agent who is prepared, as an agent who can get you the best deal, who is fun to be around, who is exciting, who can take care of their clients and fight for them when it's also needed? Do you want to be known as somebody who's overly aggressive? I think we all know some agents that were like, all right, you're working with that guy, he's going to fight a lot and he fights for his client. Like there's different things that we are going to be cautious of. And I know that you've been in it for 18 years. You've seen a lot of different people, haven't you?
I have. Yes.
Absolutely. I know you have. What do you see? And I know not one person or one type or one personality is technically like the end all be all best, right? That's not how it works. But what generally do you see? What characteristics do you see in people that are better at branding themselves, where you're like, hey, when I hear their name or when so-and-so hears their name, we recognize that this is a good agent?
So there's a lot of good agents in our market. We are in the Midwest, in Ohio is where our team's based, and we have a lot of friendly realtors that work together well to pull the business together to get the deal done. I can't speak for every other market, but I know in our market, a realtor that has a generally positive attitude, that they're happy, they're smiling, that they are nice to all people. For instance, if I'm in a situation, if I'm purchasing something, if I go to buy a new car, and I see a sales guy that approaches and treats with respect somebody who maybe doesn't look like they have as much as I do, I actually respect that guy more. If he blows off somebody that does not seem to have what I have, then I kind of get a bad feeling like he's only in it for the money. And I don't want to do business. Really, I do not want to do business with people that are just in it for the money. I understand the money is important, and I understand that, we have some people that drives them is the money. And there are times where I am driven by the money. Obviously, I do what I do because it does produce money, and it helps take care of my family and my bills. The type of realtor, though, I think you got to be somebody I think gregarious realtors do great, but I've also seen quiet realtors do well. I think a lot of times when we work with a realtor, we want to know that it's somebody that's going to stay on top of their paperwork. So I think attention to detail is very important in this business. I don't know. What do you think? I mean, what have you seen out of the other agents that you've dealt with that you like the parts of?
Absolutely. I think you're spot on with saying the attitude is everything. I think that's kind of what you're trying to say. Attitude is going to be pretty much everything as an agent. And the way that people view you is going to be very important. Now, this kind of goes into the marketing area too, because what should be happening now, here's the thing. I understand that there's a lot of new agents such as myself who are young and hungry and just getting into the business. We also understand that there are a lot of older agents such as yourself who have been seasoned. You guys have the experience and you have done all of these things and you're used to the face. But what's happening is we're now starting to learn how to mix both of these generations, right? So you've got this older generation where it was a lot of face to face, right? So that's where you understand. It's how do you communicate? Are you standing up straight? Are you confident? Are you shaking hands? Is there eye contact? Like those, what I would even challenge are basic things that just people don't think about nowadays. But then we go to this younger generation, and now we have this technological aspect, right? So we have social media, which is probably the biggest driver for real estate agents right now. Now, don't get me wrong, there are real estate agents, even in our area, they don't even have a big social media presence, and they are still like top dog agents because they've been doing it for so long, and their reputation is you want the best, we're the best, right? That's Richard Sr. Dad, he doesn't post a lot on social media. He actually supports his team more than he'll support himself. So you don't go on his page and see Richard Pierce. He did. Even though in the background, he's doing probably the same, if not more than the entire team combined can handle. Oftentimes when we walk into the office, my brother and I are on the same board as him. He will have 3/4 of that board filled, and we will have that last quart just between the two of us. So you handle a lot of things, but you don't use social media for yourself. I think it's so valuable for people, especially if you're an agent getting into the system. If you're an agent who wants to grow your business, so you're saying, hey, I've only been doing once a month or 2 a month. I want to do 4, 5, 6, 10 a month. Then you've got to use that marketing capability in the social media, whether that's Facebook, Instagram. I mean, I know people that use the TikToks. I understand that there's people who use YouTube. I know that there's people who use LinkedIn and Twitter. There's so many opportunities, but here's the simplified version. Take the truthful, honest person that you are and put it on social media.
Yeah, be
yourself. It does not have to be anything fancy. Yeah, be yourself. It doesn't have to be this fancy, like, let me throw this in ProPresenter and clip it up and put all these things over it. And those things are cool, right? We do see a lot of, you would say influencers, right? We see those people who have the financial capability to pay people to do that. Oftentimes we don't have the time or the ability to do that. People don't care most of the time. What people want to see is somebody who's authentic. They want to see somebody who just has a good attitude, who enjoys the work that they do, who can handle situations as they come. Now, don't go on social media and saying, here's my problem for the day, and I'm trying to handle it, because your clients are going to be like, yo, that's my dirty laundry.
Don't put your dirty laundry out there.
Yeah, exactly. But there are ways that you should absolutely, like, one of the coolest things, guys, and here's it is. I am the kind of guy, I do put my stuff in ProPresenter because I know how to edit. I have a background in editing and videography and broadcasting and stuff. So I like to take my stuff and edit it, make it look really cool and pretty and post it out there. Whereas Richard Sr. actually saw a ton of growth in his business by simply pulling out your cell phone, right? You pulled out your cell phone and you just took a selfie, and we would quantify it as a little dorky. It kind of felt like sometimes, but the amount of business that he got from it. And here's the crazy thing. Some life circumstance happened. He did not make videos for a while because we had to handle some things in the family. So many people thought just because you weren't posting a video a week that you weren't even doing real estate. Like, I had people genuinely ask me, like, your dad still do real estate? I don't see videos anymore. Like, it was so cool to see, like, man, these simple videos, they were not prettied up. They were not the perfect video, right? But you enjoyed it. You were authentic. People liked seeing you. And that's what we're trying to do here at Creative Solutions, is to show you that that's what's possible.
Right.
People don't care for you to be the perfect, prim and proper version of yourself all the time, every time, and edit everything and edit your entire life so that it looks like you live in a perfect world, right? They want to know that you're a real person. Oftentimes when we're working in real estate, especially here in the Midwest, if I pulled up in a Ferrari, there's some clients that probably wouldn't work with me because I was pulling up in that kind of stuff. Whereas I know that there are other areas in the world, in the States, if you did that, man, people would absolutely love it and they'd be all about it. But the honest truth is it your authentic self? That's all that matters. And I think if we can help people understand that with your marketing and your branding, we're going to see a lot of growth. So that's why we will be putting a lot of effort into our marketing, our branding. You will see a couple different people, not just Big Rich and Richard Sr. You will see a couple other people on some of these training programs who teach you how to simply make different things, different posts, maybe even how to just set your page up so it has a certain aesthetic, right? It looks a certain way. Do you have certain colors picked? Are you using certain fonts? And they sound complicated, but man, these are such easy ways and opportunities for you to make yourself look so professional, to look amazing, but also be authentic and be yourself. And it's not going to take up all your time. We don't want to just give you something that's going to take you hours and hours and hours to handle and to become. So with that being said, we appreciate you guys, right? Now, this is our favorite thing ever, is to jump on here and talk about creative solutions. But now is the important part where you go and sign up for the membership program. Now, at the time of this podcast being released, right, this is Wednesday. On Friday, we are going to be doing a live call, all right? That live call is going to be at 2 p.m. Eastern time, and we're going to have our entire Creative Solutions team on that call. And we want you guys to jump on, one, because we want you to know who's working for you. We're here to serve you. We're here to help you. That's why we've created this, and we want you to know who is behind the scenes, because yes, you see Big Rich, and yes, you see Richard Sr., but we definitely have a team that's helping us put all of this together and make it look and sound amazing as it is. With that being said, at the end of that podcast, there will be a code, a surprise, a prize, whatever you want to call it. But I'm not going to give up that information. You got to watch the live. You better be on the live because it's not going to stay up forever. But we do look forward to seeing you guys. We appreciate you guys. Dad, do you have anything else that you want to say to everybody?
I'm excited to see where this goes, and I'm excited to see how your business will improve and where you're going to be able to take yourself to the next level. We'll be here to help, give you some great ideas. We'll give you some tips. We'll help you hold you accountable. We'll be here to answer your questions, and we expect to see everyone increase their business.
Absolutely. Hey, we appreciate you guys. We look forward to the next time that you're here at Creative Solutions.